Hey guys, it's Maro, and I've come to realize that everything is a Godzilla reference. Wait, wrong media? Oh shit, hold up, let me try that one again. Well, hey guys, it's Maro, and I've come to realize that everything is a JoJo reference.
You're not funny.
You know what? Fuck you. I think JoJo is a pretty funny series. It's basically what got me into anime in the first place, so yes, this is technically my first anime.
I don't regret it.
I'd say this is probably the best way I could have gotten into anime. I mean, what? I'm not gonna watch all episodes of, like, Pokemon and One Piece. Like, come on, that's too long. But isn't JoJo long, you may ask? Well, as it is right now, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is up to 8 parts in the manga adaptation, and production is still in motion on the rest of the Part 6 anime. Now, I've only watched the anime all the way up to Part 6, and I never read the manga. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1 anime, and in the future we'll talk about the other parts. And let's just say,
I'm excited.
The story follows a boy named Jonathan Joestar, who has found himself in a feud with another boy called Dio Brando. Dio's lust of power and immortality pushes him to become one with the ancient stone mask of the Joestars, which is basically the spark that starts this entire series. This is a very simple yet effective story, a small feud now turning into an entire universe of strange powers. It's not only funny, but also pretty cool. Now, the only way to truly defeat Dio is for Jonathan to use a power known as Hamon, which he obtains by getting stabbed with a pinky. Basically, Hamon works by your blood giving you energy in order to learn some abilities, like punching a rock through a frog without hurting it. The more you breathe, the stronger you get. While I do like the stands better in the later parts, this is a good way to start them off. Once again, simple yet effective. And speaking of effective, Hamon is also good against vampires, which is what Dio and his army is. This means we get a fair share of enemies, right? Well, kinda. In the first 2 parts of JoJo, there isn't really many villains compared to the other parts. But in my opinion, this is actually better. We can focus more on these villains because there's only a few. And also, oh hell yes! The fight scenes are so good. Not only visually, which is, obvious, but it's also because of how much bullshit there is to these fights. In part 1, there isn't really too much of it, but trust me, once we get into the later parts, this shit gets crazy, intense, and cool. And this is because, stands are, introduced, which they can do more than Hamon. But we will get there when we get there. The fights last for at least 1 episode. I mean, I'm not complaining, this stuff is cool. It's also helped with the music. My god, it's amazing! The music lining up perfectly with what's happening. It just makes me smile, it's so good! But you can't talk about the music without talking about the intro. Ah, it's so good! This isn't even the best intro, by the way. It gets... Okay. I took a second to just calm myself. Alright, let's go. So, in the intro, it actually tells the story of the Part 1 anime. Which it is kind of cool, because, through the first watch through, you aren't really gonna notice it until the end. But after rewatching it and know what happens, you'll see it. Obviously, the most important thing in the show that makes it great is the characters. The main character, Jonathan, is a caring person who only wants the goodness and right from people. And he'll do anything right to achieve his goal, or to avenge those who have fallen to someone like Dio, who is basically the opposite of Jonathan. He is selfish, he'll do anything to achieve his goal of immortality and destruction of the Joestars. In order to stop him, Jonathan learns the tactics of Hamon from Baron Zeppeli. He joins Jonathan on his quest to not only kill Dio, but to destroy the mask that turned Dio into the monster that he is right now. And this is because he does have a little bit of history with the mask. Alongside JoJo on his quest, he befriends a man by the name of Robert Speedwagon, or Speedwagon for short. He doesn't really do a whole lot in part 1, but in the later parts he's pretty important, but I'll save those for later. Jonathan's father also appears in this anime, and because of him, he was able to let Dio enter his family and start the whole JoJo timeline, so really, it's all thanks to him we have this awesome anime. Jonathan's love Arena, which is the one that continues the Joestar bloodline near the end of part 1. A character named Dyer appears, which is basically the one that gives JoJo an idea to kill Dio, but he dies in the process. Straightso, which he didn't do much in part 1, but he's more important for the later parts, so I'll save him for later. Anton Petty, who is the one that taught Dyer, Zeppeli, and Straightso the power of Hamon. Characters I didn't mention are either not important in part 1, or are important later on in the series. My only real critique with this anime is that it's a little bit too short, and it doesn't help characters like Ton Petty, Dyer, and Straightso who just appeared during the end, so we won't really know too much about them. Ignoring everything that happens later, the other parts, just looking at part 1, this isn't really too good. But that's my only real critique. But it should be pretty obvious by now that this is a really good anime. I mean, we got good visuals, nice music, great characters, and a simple but pretty good story. If you have any free time and you want to watch something, quick and short, I recommend this anime. I think that you would really like it. And, we're only at part 1, by the way. It gets better from here. And this leads to my final point, actually. This anime does something that no other anime I've watched does. Even though I've already watched the rest of the parts, and I only rewatched part 1 to make this review, part 1 makes me excited for the next parts, even though I already know what happens in them. Even Evangelion, which is, my personal favorite anime, it never did this. So that's pretty crazy. Now, the next review is on JoJo, the next parts. It's definitely going to be a bit longer, since the parts are longer than part 1. Part 1 was only 9 episodes long, and the next parts all combined equals how many episodes? Oh, shit.